Sharp as a shooter on the rooftop, yeah. I'ma keep it going when you not, yeah. Line you up like Picasso with a paintbrush, yeah. Man, I got a hustle that you can't touch, yeah. I play with the Clippers, not the NBA.
All right, this is the fourth installment. Welcome to the I Play with the Clippers, not the NBA, the podcast. I'm here in Cincinnati, Ohio with my man, Nick the Barber. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? I'm good, bro. I am your host, Jay Alexander, J. Alexander, known to the barbering industry as Divine Cuts. Right here again with my man, Nick the Barber. Real quick, man, how you been, bro?
Been blessed, man. Can't complain, won't complain.
Man, good to see you, bro. Look, check this out, man. I've been doing this podcast, bro, and I just wanted to reach out to you. I reached out to a couple other barbers in Atlanta about 2-3 weeks ago, and it's just been rolling. But just to jump right in it real quick, man, how long you been a barber, bro?
I've been a barber now 6 years, man.
6 years. What inspired you to become a barber?
Well, I grew up in a neighborhood where it was just barbershops on every corner, so I used to just go on there before I go and play basketball to just see how they made people feel, you know what I'm saying, after they got their hair cut. It was like they was on cloud nine.
Oh, wow.
So
what inspired you, though? You know what I mean? What really...
Well, just being around that, you know what I'm saying, seeing the whole barbershop feel and everything like that. When I got a little older, I went to college. I actually played college basketball on athletic scholarship and everything. And I dropped out with 4 classes after my senior year to go pursue being a barber because we had a lot of budget cuts on the education side of Cincinnati. So Cincinnati Public Schools, they was firing a lot of teachers after a while because they didn't have the money to pay them. And I didn't like the stress to have to deal with that. So I went and made myself, you know, my own boss.
Absolutely, absolutely. So was anybody in your family barbers? Was you the first generation of barber? That's what's up, man. That feels good, bro.
Yeah.
That's the same as me. I'm first generation barber with my license. Although my uncle used to cut my hair as a kid and all my cousins. But, do you... So basically, you said you wanted to be a barber to set up your own boss.
Yeah.
So is it that you was dissatisfied with the job you had? What was the job you had? If you can speak on that allowed you to want to come to be a barber, though?
No, I didn't have a job. I was a senior in college.
Okay.
So I was actually a college athlete.
Okay.
And the job and the career that I was actually going into was pre-secondary education.
Okay.
I was going to be an English teacher.
That's good, man.
I just decided that I wanted to do something different because, like I said, all the budget cuts and everything that I was seeing happening already. At that time, I just was like, I didn't want to have to go into that field and end up being stuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then get fired, having to worry about where I'm going to work at next and all that stuff. So I just went ahead and decided to take my talents to barber school. And I went through a program.
Like LeBron James.
Yeah.
Took his talents to South Beach.
So like you said, like being a first generation barber in my family, I'm the first licensed one.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a cousin that cut hair. I got an uncle, he lived right around the corner from my barbershop. He cut hair, but they don't have their license. My grandmother, they all do stuff with their hair, their hands.
Oh,
so my great grandma, she actually was the first lady to start making doll baby like clothing in Middletown, Ohio. And she started making wedding dresses. And then my grandma, she braided hair for a long time. I'm talking about, I seen her sit down and do micros in her own head, man. And
that's something. When you can do it on yourself. As far as micro braids, that says a lot. But when you so the freedom. So being a barber allows you to gain freedom and control of your own life and schedule as far as that's concerned, right?
Correct.
And you actually like having that freedom?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like it any other way because at the end of the day, I can still influence the kids the way that I wanted to do it through education. So that's the reason why I was actually being an English teacher so that I could show kids they didn't have to be a rapper, they didn't have to play basketball, football. They can be successful without having to be certain things. And where I came from, all we had around us was negativity for real.
Right.
Dope boys on the corner and everything. But if those same dope boys didn't see me play basketball, they would have probably approached me a little different.
Right.
But by them seeing me play and they knew how I played, I was nice. I was All-American and everything.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to check the records and the scores and the box scores and all that to check and see if he's Tell them the truth.
Oh yeah, I was nice, man.
But well, so how tall are you, man?
6'5".
6'5". Okay, cool. So what did you play? What position?
I played everything. I was a shooting guard in high school, all the way up to the 4. And then when I went to college, I started playing the 4, the 3, and the 5 sometimes.
So is that like out of position though?
No, I'm a lefty, and I can shoot. So
at 6'5", playing 5, that's not out of
it
position.
wasn't out of position. Because I was strong, I jumped out the gym.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I caused problems on the offensive side.
Okay.
Because a 5 not going to be able to guard me like they'd be able to guard a bigger, slower
traditional
guy.
5.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when I could step out and hit the 3 or get it off the rim and take it full court, you know, it causes more problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to play my own game, especially with being a lefty. It was like cakework, man.
Right. And I like lefties, man.
Yeah, man.
I started out as a lefty, but my sister didn't like it.
What?
So she tied my hand up while my mother would leave and make me use my
Maybe
right
everything
hand.
with the
But
right.
everything is done with the backwards check. My
Yeah.
paper is curved and everything.
Yeah.
But no, man, you mentioned something as far as helping the kids, and you still wanted to be inspirational in helping the kids.
Correct.
And what's funny about that is we're segueing into the next aspect of the questions of this podcast. So, you feel obligated to do work in the community as a barber, or do you just shun the community like, well, I got mine, you know?
No, I feel like if you're gonna be in the community, you gotta be a pillar of your own community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my church is literally walking distance from my barbershop.
Right, and that's what you said prior to me having the interview. You know,
Yeah.
you said I'll be there on time. My church
Yeah.
is not far from here,
Yeah.
but
My
you
church
gotta
right
get
there.
that spirituality
Yeah.
in too.
Yeah.
But as far as the community, what do you do in the community? Because as barbers, we do a lot of work in the community, but not only that, we take from the community because of the clients that come and see us.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, I think it's a must that we should interact with the community by charitable events and things of that nature, whether it's feeding the homeless, cutting the homeless, giving children incentives on haircuts, if they read or if they bring in report cards. So with that, what type of work do you do in the community that you do give back?
Well, I have my own nonprofit organization, the Nick the Barber Against the Grain Foundation, and we do a whole lot of programming. I just sat down with my lady yesterday and planned out my whole four quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we have, as you see in my barbershop, I got folders and stuff. So when the kids come in, you know, second season of the school year, you know what I'm saying, they'll be able to grab them some folders and stuff. I got notebooks in the back so that, they, you know, because in the beginning, everybody giving them stuff. You know, we even do a free back to school book bag and haircut drive. So when they come out, we have a concert. We brought in Fresh the Clowns. We brought in a lady named Deetronata, was one of the girls off of the rap game. And, you know what I'm saying, had them do a whole performance.
Are they from here?
Nah.
Nah. But you just reached out to them?
Reached out to them, like Fresh the Clown from like Detroit. You know, that was pretty cool. So they flew down. And then Deetronata, she from like, I forget. Baltimore. She's from Baltimore. So we had to fly her in. But they enjoy it. Like every year we do a kids summer jam, and we give them school supplies for their school.
Is that before school start?
Yeah,
where
right before
the
school.
summer jam located?
We got different locations.
Okay.
Sometimes I do it at a high school, or sometimes I do it at my own gym. We got a gym up the street too.
Okay.
That we own. So
Well, that'll be something we'll be interested in coming up for.
Yeah.
And although I said I was coming up for Thanksgiving, but it was a bunch of crazy
Thanksgiving was
caveats
crazy.
that was involved in. And it's funny how our state boards don't really get behind the charity work that we do, although they want us to do things, and we want to do things, but they make it hard when they say you got to have a license in this state, you know, for me to come from Kentucky to come to Ohio in order to help you do something, or vice versa, you have to have a license in the state of Kentucky to do. We need to challenge it, I think, in certain aspects to where when we give back, it shouldn't be an issue to give back. But as far as giving back, is that, you know, so around Christmas, what do you do?
Well, I used to do a whole lot of Christmas events for the kids. So like I'm a part of a local school decision making committee over at Rothenberg. So At their school, I took on K through 2nd grade and sponsored their whole Christmas. So I had a couple Bengal players to come out, sign autograph for them. I had little footballs and stuff that they gave me. They signed that. We had toy drive. Next month, we're probably going to have a whole reading drive, like for books. Just get a lot of books in the barbershop and just donate them to the school for the kids and stuff like that to read, because a lot of the kids don't own not one book.
Right.
So we give them probably, most of them be their first book that we end up giving them. So just come together and just try to feel how I can fill that gap, because my thing is just trying to be able to lead this legacy, and we're not going to be here forever. So,
and that's funny, man. You say that, not necessarily funny, but I mean, it's good you mention that, because it lets me know that I'm on the right path doing what I'm doing. I also have a nonprofit, Urban Barbers of Louisville. You actually was a guest this past November on our 5th year anniversary. And we also partner with places like the Urban League and the Metro United Way. And the Metro United Way, they have a thing called Books and Barbers. So where they create barber book stands, bookshelves, and then they place them in different barbershops. And we give incentives to the children that read. So while they wait, they can read. And if they read in the chair, then we'll give them $1 or something off the haircut. And their mother can give them, or their father can give them that discount that we gave them off of the haircut. But as far as just regular conversation, man, do you do anything outside of barbering the community, as far as just, do you have any other ventures, any other entrepreneurial aspects you have? What are you marketing now, as far as anything?
Just outside of the barbering?
Yeah.
Well, outside of barbering, I got my own clothing line. So.
And what would that be?
Black Excellence Era. Yeah.
What would that be? Oh, you got a jacket? Oh, my bad. I'm sitting
on you good. Yeah, so like this is one of my jackets.
Oh, wow.
So
y'all check this out. You see that?
That Black Excellence Era.
And what's that represent, bro?
So just us, you know what I'm saying, as a unity. Like this on the front it say Era Greatness.
Hold on, let's button this up real quick so we can see this.
Yeah, so me and my business partner, we just came together, man, and decided, because we have our own printing company as well. So
okay.
We just came together, and so we came together and just decided, like, let's not keep buying everybody else's stuff. Let's go ahead and make our own. Because we got our own printing company. We do a lot of you can put it right there. We do a lot of prints for schools and stuff like that. They varsity jackets and everything.
Okay.
So
you do uniforms and stuff like that?
The warm-ups, the whole 9 yards.
So this brother's just not a barber. This brother's just not a community activist. This man is helping create items and things for other people's schools and for himself and everything. So is there anything else you got going on?
Well, I got the book.
You got a copy of it around so we can get
yeah, my book is right over there.
If you don't mind handing me that book, please, young man. I appreciate it.
So I actually wrote the book, The Entrepreneur's Blueprint: Strategy for Success. Been promoting this for a while. This is one of them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Being able to give people strategies for them to be able to take their business to the next level.
And y'all be able to get that book from me at the barbershop if you would like. I purchased a whole bunch of books from him, and I just want to make sure we get the word out about the Entrepreneur's Blueprint, Strategies for Success.
Yeah, so this book, actually, the reason why I wrote this book, I'm going to tell y'all, is because when I first came out of school, I first made $15,000.
School as barber school?
As a barber school.
Okay.
Yeah, so my first year I made $15,000. My second year I made $50,000. I had to figure out how I was going to be able to double up that 15 and make that really something. And then after that, my third year, I pushed myself to the max. And I can't really say it's the max because for the last 3 years I've been making over $100,000.
Man.
Just cutting hair. So
man, what does that say, man? You know what I mean? Y'all hear that? Yeah. This man makes over $100,000 a year as a barber. Yeah. It can be done. You feel me? It can be done as a barber.
Yeah.
So So the book, you had a book, the clothing line. Is there anything else you tied to as far as
just touring with the book? I'm doing a lot of speaking engagements and stuff. I've been going to a lot of Paul Mitchell's. They love me right now.
Okay,
so
well,
I was
good.
down in Louisville.
Yep.
Went down there, spoke to Paul Mitchell down there. I went to Lexington.
Okay.
Spoke to them as well. So this year, we looking to hit Indiana, Columbus. I mean, not Indiana. Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, and Nashville.
So like the whole Midwest.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit a lot more this year. So my assistant, he's really been getting in more deep with trying to push that out there because the information that I have is second to none. I tell people all the time, you know, you seen the car that I drove.
Mm-hmm.
I drive a 97 Grand Marquis.
Y'all hear that? He make 100,000. He's like the Kawhi Leonard of barbering. You feel me? He's like the Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard supposedly still has a 97 Tahoe truck that he drives and still drives. So, man.
Yeah, I bought my car for $1,000 cash. Been driving that for the last 2.5 years.
But don't be fooled. He do got a Sunday car, family car with him and his wife and family. So
yeah, for me personally, like I really, if I'm gonna spend money, it's gonna make me some money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I make $100,000, you know, but my output isn't as high, so I can do more with my money.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I only work Wednesday through Saturday.
Oh man, did y'all hear that? Say it again, bro.
I only work Wednesday through Saturday.
Wednesday through Saturday, he only works and he makes over $100,000 a year as a barber.
On paper. I'm
On
not playing with y'all.
On paper.
Documents.
Right. So look, man. Real quick, you was talking about how the book and the book tour. What was the reason for making the book, and was the book a part of maximizing that 100,000?
No, the book has nothing to do with the 100. This is all behind the chair I'm talking about.
Okay.
Everything, like as far as cutting hair, that's all cutting hair. I don't even count that source of income. You know, selling my books and stuff like that. It's really to be able to help the next generation of barbers go through something that I didn't have to go through. I mean, I had to go through.
Right.
So with me having to be hungry, you know, stomach hurting, pockets hungry,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be able to change that. And everything I did within the last 5 years before I wrote the book, I talk about that so that they can go and hit that learning curve quicker than I had to. You see
Man,
what
this
I'm
is
saying?
crazy, man. So he's really an educator that just so happened to be a barber, for real.
Yeah.
Because his whole goal, to me, sounds like he wants to give back to the community where we understand and maximize our brain power more so than anything.
Correct.
Am I following you?
Correct.
Okay. So is there any celebrities that you cut? You know, do you cut any celebrities?
Man, I cut Vincent Ray from the Cincinnati Bengals, C.J. Uzama from the Cincinnati Bengals. I cut Ray Malaluga. I cut Country Wayne.
Yeah, I seen that on
Country Wayne. We
Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
We did a whole little skit twice in our 1 week. Real cool dude, man.
He was in town or something, and he heard about you and came.
Yeah, he was in town.
How did he?
He was in town doing a radio interview because he had to do a Funny Bone kind of community comedy show, and he was just talking, and I just reached out to his manager like, yo, like if you need a haircut, you know, hit me up. I sent him an email with a couple pictures. That's all I did. Next, you know, I was at Cracker Barrel with the wife and the kids. I got the phone call, and it was Country Wayne. I already knew it was him because he called from Atlanta number.
Right.
So I told him, like, look, you at the radio right now. I'll meet you at the barbershop when you get finished. He's a vegan, so he was hungry, so he needed to find a vegan spot. Put him on to a little spot so he can go get something to eat. He met me down here. We did a skit just out the blue, and it went viral.
Oh, wow.
And then that was like on a Monday. And then Thursday, he called me again that same week before he went to Indiana. And he came right back down and got another haircut. Did another skit.
You might be on tour soon.
You know what I'm saying?
You might be with him. Shout to Country Wayne, man.
Country Wayne, real humble dude, man. Real funny, man. But I love what he's doing with his brothers and everything. He's putting them in position to win, too.
And you mean physical brothers or
Yeah,
just brothers?
his real brothers.
Okay,
like,
cool.
He got them with him all the time.
Well, that's good, man,
So-
because we need to be more family oriented. So we lose that generational
Yeah.
curse of
Yeah.
wealth.
Yeah.
We need that generational wealth, you know, for our family, for our children and our grandchildren. But how did you begin to cut any other football players from Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, the first Cincinnati Bengal player that I cut was Dante Moe. I was still in barber school, and he reached out to me looking for a haircut, and I told him like, okay, I'm at school, you know what I'm saying? You can come up here if you want, but don't wear like no Bengal attire or nothing like that because there's 52 kids in here, and they find out you play with the Bengals, then I won't get done cutting your hair.
Right.
So he came up there, I cut his hair. Then the next person was Mohamed Sanu. He played for the Atlanta Falcons. That's my guy. Like I talk to Mohamed Sanu probably once a week.
That's what's up.
And Mohamed, he hit me up on Twitter. Never talked to him, nothing. He wrote me on Twitter saying that he needed a haircut. It was on Mother's Day, and I was at a party for my mother. And I got the tweet, and I looked at my mom. I love you. I gotta go. And I want to go get that money.
Man, I don't blame you, but Mom understood though,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
you know, because she wanted you to be great. So.
Yeah.
But with him and a tweet, how did he hear about you as the barber?
Somebody else tweeted him about me.
Oh, okay.
So
So he tweeted out he was looking for a cut.
Yeah.
And then they tweeted you.
Yep. Somebody mentioned me that I don't even cut.
Man,
That was the crazy part about social media, man.
Yes, it is.
Somebody mentioned me that I didn't. And to this day, I still haven't cut this kid hair. You know, and I know exactly who he is, and we still follow each other on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Fave, man.
Man, Fave, what up,
Yeah,
man? But
man.
evidently he loved your work,
Yeah.
and then he just put a word in to
And it opened that door. After that, I started cutting hair at the stadium down at Paul Brown. You know what I mean? But most of them, they love coming to the barbershop, like Giovanni Bernard.
Yeah, get
You know what I'm
that
saying?
barbershop
like,
experience.
they want to get out of work.
Right.
That's the thing. They don't want to be there long.
And look, what's funny, you say that. Now, this is funny. I saw on Instagram and or Facebook, maybe both, or one of the other social media platforms, that you cut his hair. I saw a picture. The picture was clean, but you follow that post up with what's funny about the whole Giovanni Bernard cut was I did that in the dark because your lights went out. Can you explain what happened with that?
So one day Giovanni came in for the cut before the last game of the season, and I've been cutting for 5 years now, right?
Okay.
So trust level was there.
Right.
I'm in the middle cutting this hair. I just got finished doing both of the fades on the mohawk, right? So both sides done. The last thing to do is the shape up. Right? I'm sitting here, boom, I'm cutting him. All power go out. I'm like, what?
Was it a storm? Was it just
No, transmitter blew. Like, I'm talking about knock the whole neighborhood power out. So I'm looking at Giovanni like, oh, snaps. Like, I can't let you go like this.
Right.
So, luckily, I had cordless clippers.
Thank God for cordless.
Boom. Pulled them cordless out. But then I also do photography. So I had an external light that I could just I pulled out my camera bag, put it on my tripod behind me, and I held that and shaped him up at the same time.
Hey, nothing was gonna stop this man from completing the project, completing the task, and getting that money.
Man,
you feel me?
what?
So that goes to show, man. Just explain as far as having that stick-to-itism. You know what I mean? Nothing will deter you from doing what you need to do or deter you from your goals. Can you speak on goals and aspirations?
Yeah, so basically goals, I always look at it like this. I set myself up for a 5-year plan. You know, with everything I do in my life. When I met my wife, 5-year plan. You know, 5 years, we're going to be married, we're going to be at this point, boom, boom, boom. Right? So I followed through on that 5th year. I had to be the man and say that I was going to do what I was going to do. So I had to get married. You know, and I told her that in 5 years we're going to get married. So everything is a 5-year plan for me. So I break it down as far as life goes, as far as spiritually goes, as far as, you know, financially goes. Like, I put all these things in place because I want to hold myself accountable. And then I tell my people around me about my goals so they can hold me accountable. Because a lot of people be scared to tell people their goals because they ain't gonna follow through with it.
Or they get stolen.
Yeah, or they get stolen, and then it'd be another problem.
Absolutely.
But I feel like even if somebody steals something for you, that was still for you, but God gonna put something in there to replace that because He gonna give you something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we always, especially entrepreneurs, you know how our brain work. We always looking at something else. We always like,
Looking
okay,
for
what's
the
the
next
next
thing,
thing?
right,
Yeah, what's
right.
the next
See how we
thing?
just said it at the
Yeah,
same
like,
time.
and we gonna get to it, regardless of where you at in your life right now. And it's just about a process. That's all it is. It's just a process. You put that plans and your goals together. You write them out. You hold yourself accountable for them, and you go after them. You know what I'm saying?
Man, now, as part of your goals, and I did hear you say earlier that you had an assistant.
Yeah.
Now, barbers normally don't have assistants unless they're in a salon or whatever, to where they have a receptionist that works for everybody. But you have an assistant. How did you come up with an assistant as a barber?
Well, I've been different for a long time, man.
You and me both.
Yeah, so like my first year out of barber school, I actually had a publicist. You know what I mean? So I had a publicist that was working for my nonprofit organization, making sure that I got visible on the news and newspapers and stuff like that. I got awards from the city and stuff because I had a publicist, and so that they could see what I was doing. So now I'm at the stage where I'm like, I do all appointments online. So my assistant doesn't work on my books, but he work on booking me for different events.
Right.
So he's a client here in the barbershop. I don't cut his hair. My other barber cut his hair, but he works for me.
Man, that's crazy, man.
And,
That's the craziest.
I mean, I got a assistant, Valentino. He's
Shout out to Valentino.
Yeah, that's my guy. And then I also got a whole marketing team of black entrepreneurs, and they all black men. It's 3 of them, 24-hour marketing. So they take care of my social media and stuff like that. So they making sure that I'm posting when I need to be posting.
So do you post?
Yeah.
Are you live with it? Or
Yeah.
Is the marketing company?
I'm posting. You know, I'm
Okay.
posting that
They
time.
just reminding you to do so.
And then they now we working on the whole schedule because I'm doing a whole lot more. I'm about to start a boot camp and stuff like that for the book. So they like, okay, look, you need to stay visible on your social media. So this is what we're gonna do. We put me on the timeline. They creating content. You know, they just went through my social media and got a lot of that fluff out of there and made sure that it's showing what I needed them to be showing.
Now, what's the
like
boot
that.
camp consist of?
The boot camp is actually over the book. So my book is the syllabus for the whole program. It's a 4-week program, being able to help barbers and stylists be able to get to that next level. But one of the requirements is for them to read the book. So when we go through the book, they already have ideas. So at the last 15 minutes of the whole segment, they'll be able to do a Q&A. So once they do the Q&A, they get done with it. I'm gonna have different programs, like different levels as well, like $100 level that'll get you certain things as far as business cards go, flyers and stuff. And
that's what your printing company.
Yeah, that's
So,
what my printing company.
so
And
you
then-
just using the platform of
Yeah.
barbering, created a book
Yeah.
to help people not go through the mistakes or the mishaps that you went through.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come back with the book, offer them opportunity to engage in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Once they engage in the book, that allows them to get rewards and discounts and things of that nature from you as a barber conglomerate, correct?
Right.
Is that where I'm
Right.
getting?
So
Man,
with the
that's
boot camp,
unique, bro.
yeah, with the boot camp, it's really going to be able to put different people in different positions because, like, the highest level would be like the platinum level. It'll be $500. That'll get on the website, clothing, like for their apparel. So if they want to get hoodies, t-shirts, you know what I'm saying, aprons and stuff like that for their barbershop, they'll be able to get that all through that package to go through that boot camp as well. So it's just another way to be able to get it done. I do surveys every time I go out and speak, so I get those surveys back.
Yeah, I saw you do that at Urban Barber Road.
so
But I was running around. I didn't even get a survey. But do you have one on deck now? I just want to.
my assistant had them, but I don't. I think it's at the house. I got my case at the house. So what happened is, I can get you one, but they went over that. They got all those surveys back. They looked at what we needed to correct, and then we made a plan on correcting it. So now when I go to the schools, I get those surveys out. I get those emails. Once I get those email addresses, I'll be able to promote the book through the emails with my marketing team. They send out an email blast reminding people who didn't purchase the book that they can still get the book for the discounted rate. So
Man, that is ingenious, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. You know, I appreciate you doing this for me, and especially on a Sunday. And not only that, man, this man don't stop, y'all. I just seen a gentleman walk in, man. I'm assuming he's waiting for Nick. Nick's the only one. Bro, real quick, are you waiting on Nick to catch her?
Yeah, he told me to come back.
Oh man, that's what I'm talking about. So the man don't stop. He just left church, did an interview with me. Now he's got to get back behind the chair. But again, I appreciate y'all for listening to the I Play with the Clippers, Not the NBA, the podcast. I'm again your host, Divine Cuts, with my man Nick the Barber, and hopefully I'll get one of these little pieces, man. What is these, man?
Man, so
What
me
is
and,
these?
me and my business partner, man.
Hold on, let me get one real quick, man. Let me get the long one so it'll go over my hat real quick. I'm great to rock out with these.
We basically treated ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We reached our goal last year.
See my cameraman to take a picture of this real quick,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? We
Check this out, son.
had hit our goal, so we're selling all these clothes and everything. We decided to go ahead and make our custom pieces.
Oh wow, this is dope,
man.
bro.
So business partner, man, he real fashionable, so I had to.
All right, hold on, I'm a. Yeah, oh man, listen to it clinging. Hold on, it goes with. Let me get some love, cameraman. Oh man, this is dope, bro. Yeah, y'all see that?
That's the clothing line, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate it, bro. Again, man,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man, for being attentive and being partnered with me as far as this podcast
No,
goes.
you know, man.
I
Jay.
appreciate it, bro. No problem.
I'm coming down to Louisville, man. I always be down there. So,
Man,
you
he
know,
got family there, so now we
Yeah.
family, we cousins.
Yeah,
you
man.
feel
Gotta
me?
make sure I get me a cigar every time I come down, man.
So look, man, I just wanted to drop this off for you too, man. This is,
Yeah.
I hope you're a 3X.
Oh no,
I
I'm
didn't
good.
ask.
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause
ask, but
be working out. I'll work out in this joint.
and this
you
is
know what I mean?
this is my logo, man. I play with the Clippers, not the NBA. You feel me?
Yeah.
So again, I appreciate it. Thanks
appreciate
again,
you.
brother.
No doubt, man.
All right.